Welcome to the Lost in Transit podcast. I'm your host, Spud Groshon. Today on the podcast, I wanted to talk a little bit about what's in my bag. So recently I realized that my bag is a little bigger than I would have thought. I'm currently carrying a 50-liter bag, which seems quite large, but it's rather small. It still fits in an overhead compartment, still fits under a seat in front of me, still fits comfortably on my lap if I need it to, which is a good thing if you're traveling the remote corners of the world and have to ride buses or anything really. Being able to keep your bag on your lap comfortably is key. So that being said, I want to go over a few things I keep in my bag. Kind of the essentials I try and take on every long trip, with some advice from my girlfriend for the ladies out there. So guys, I do this. Girls, you can do this as well. I bring 3 plain black shirts, 3 pairs of underwear, and 3 pairs of socks. That way I have a clean pair for today, I have a clean pair for tomorrow, and the dirty pair I wore yesterday is currently being washed or was washed and is currently drying. It kind of is a nice cycle. Also, it keeps your load light. I bring 1 pair of pants. I bring 2 pairs of shorts. Often for me, it's a pair of cargo shorts, which I get laughed at constantly by my girlfriend, and 1 pair of shorts to swim in. I tend to wear basketball shorts over board shorts because I feel like they're more functional. I try and bring 1 nice shirt. 1 nice long sleeve shirt, should I say. You never know what's going to happen, and if you have to go to a dinner or something, at least with your pants, your long sleeve shirt looks better than a plain t-shirt. At least to me. I don't know. You tell me if I'm wrong. Now, some other weird clothing items that I bring is I bring a rain jacket. I bring a hoodie. Those are my primary sources of warmth. I typically layer them along with a long sleeve thermal shirt and thermal bottoms if I'm going somewhere cold. Under the pants and under the hoodie, typically I'm pretty good down to pretty low temperatures. If you're going somewhere else, somewhere you know there's going to be snow and lots of cold, obviously bring a jacket. I also bring a beanie and a scarf. The beanie really doesn't serve much purpose other than to keep my bald ass head warm, but it does sometimes work for the things I need when I'm on the plane. So if I'm flying to and from, I usually use my beanie as a little bag for my phone and for my headphones and things like that, and just stuff it in the seat back pocket. It's kind of nice. The scarf is pretty self-explanatory. It keeps your neck warm in the cold, but it also helps. For me, it keeps the sun off my head, kind of like a hat, and I can wrap it around my face to keep the sun off my face. Years ago, I got a sunburn really bad, and I'm not like super cautious about it, but I'm cautious enough. And the scarf really helps. So I take all of my things, I stuff them in a space saver bag. If you're unsure, a space saver bag is kind of like a giant Ziploc bag with holes in it that sucks the air out. And I try and make it as small as possible and stuff it in my bag. So that's what I do with the clothes, with my clothing. Now for some advice from Jessica. Jessica says for women to stick to a theme. With this theme, you should make sure that all of your clothes match, not just some of them. That way you have more choices of outfits to wear and accessories on top of it, so it feels like you are not wearing the same thing all the time, which is incredible advice to me, I think, because it's nice to have things that are versatile. One more thing that I carry that's not really clothing, it's fabric, I guess, is I try and carry a couple bandanas. Bandanas help with everything. They help clean up a mess. They work as a towel if you need it to. They wipe sweat off your head. They're a place for you to blow your nose if you're cold. They help clean your camera if you need to clean your camera, your glasses. Another thing with bandanas is Jess wears bandanas in her hair to keep her hair up. They're just very, very multifaceted. And that's why I like having bandanas around. So for the majority of the rest of the things that I carry 2 half cube zip pack like cloth bags One I use for toiletries, which your toiletry bag is your own. It's very personal. For me, it's typical things. Toothpaste, toothbrush, deodorant. I carry a comb. I might be bald, but I do have a beard, and it's messy in the morning. I carry razors and shaving cream. I also carry earplugs. If you're staying somewhere like a hostel dorm, sometimes a guest house, sometimes on a busy street, earplugs are very, very necessary. And it wasn't something I had thought about until after a few trips. And, well, let's just say I was woke up a lot. Something else that I should carry and tend to forget is Tums. I've had or Imodium. I've had very bad problems in India with my stomach. And now, from a message from Jessica. Jessica says, women should carry, on top of all of your other stuff, Downy Wrinkle Releaser, which helps your clothes, which I think actually works for guys too. Dry shampoo, because you never know when you're going to get a shower. And sick medicines, sinus, allergy, flu medicines, like the Pepto and the Imodium I just mentioned. Those things are very clutch when you can't find one, or when you find one and it doesn't work. It's always way better than eating activated charcoal and then 2 days later seeing someone throw it up in the airport. This isn't something I do all the time, but when I take a long trip, especially by myself, I tend to pack a Rubbermaid cupcake container, typically a container that holds 4 cupcakes. And I kind of turn it into an emergency kit extras thing. I use the Rubbermaid one because literally that's not going to get any bigger. So I can only fit in it when I can fit in it. That's the size of it. That's it. For me, inside it, I usually put a poncho, an emergency blanket, one of those like tinfoily silver looking ones. I put some Band-Aids and some Neosporin. I put a needle and thread because, let's be serious, 1 pair of pants, you're gonna need to mend it eventually. And if you sew like I do, you're gonna have to do it again in a couple days after you fix it the first time. I bring lighters. I bring medical tape. Sometimes I bring electrical tape. It just really, really depends on how much you can squish down in there. The next thing I bring is a day pack. The day pack varies from trip to trip as well. It depends on if I'm with someone. It depends on if I bring my actual backpack. But normally I have a packable day pack that fits all my daytime stuff in it. My camera batteries, all of that stuff. No problem. And it packs down to the size of an apple, maybe even smaller. So in another one of these half cubes, I pack all of my electronic stuff. Aside from my camera, which sits at the top of my bag, just so it's easier to get to. Inside this half cube is a spare camera battery, my camera charger, a couple extra camera memory cards, which I bring more if I don't bring my laptop and my hard drive. I usually keep my extra USB charger in there. I keep a couple extra phone cables in there. I keep my headphones. I keep the lightning bolt to 1/8 inch adapters in there as well, because headphones are needed on a long trip. I keep a power adapter in there. I try and get a power adapter with USB ports. That way you can kind of charge all of your things and still have an outlet. It's kind of a good thing. And not very importantly, and it doesn't fit in the bag, is my computer. I try not to bring my computer on every trip. It doesn't always work. I have to edit photos. Sometimes I record these podcasts, which that's another thing. If I bring the laptop and I'm doing podcasts, I bring the microphone. I have a USB microphone, but it's very simple. It's condensed. All of that stuff fits in my bag, nice and organized, usually with some extra space to stuff stuff. Like my hoodie if I'm not wearing it, or maybe if I get someone a souvenir, say I forgot a towel, which I forgot to mention to bring a towel because I use a bandana. You pick up a towel, throw it in the top. It's not bad. There was a trip where I didn't think to bring a towel, and I didn't think to bring a blanket because I didn't think I'd be too cold. By the time I ended that trip, I had a blanket and a towel, and my bag was still pretty light. There are two things I carry with me on every trip that are kind of keepsake memento things. There is a necklace that I keep with me. I don't actually wear it. It just stays in the top pouch of my bag that I got on a trip in 2012 in Copenhagen. And there is a beach rock that Jessica gave me that I keep with me everywhere I go. It's literally sitting in my bag 5 feet from me. Anyway, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you think this podcast is awful and just want to call me a putz, feel free to email me at lostintransitpc@gmail.com. You can find us on social media. Instagram and Twitter is at lostinpc. On Facebook at facebook.com/lostintransit-podcast. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is at spudgroshong. Remember, I'll link all of the stuff below that I mentioned. A little more brand oriented, I guess, the things that I actually use. And, well, I guess if you're listening to this and you're packing, I hope you get lost.